Hello, it's Julius from Basic Financials. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about starting up your own business and income and various other things in connection with other sources of income that you might have during this period where we've been in lockdown due to the coronavirus. Now, a lot of people will have been either working from home or possibly furloughed. So they're still employed by their current employer, but not allowed to work. And you might have got another job somewhere. Now, if you have got another job somewhere, which is quite acceptable under the furlough scheme, then you will probably have some sort of, that will have some sort of tax consequences, because you'll still be getting employed income from your other employer. Now, when you start that job with that new employer, you'll need to fill out a form called a P46 starter, which they'll give you, or they will just ask you to confirm some information. Now, what's important is you'll need to tell them that you've got another job, so that you're given a basic rate tax code to start with, which will mean that any income you get from that new job, you'll have 20% tax taken off, which is correct. If you don't tell them that, then they'll get what's called an emergency code, which will not take any tax off, and then at the end of the year, you'll find that you've underpaid tax, and sometime down the line, you'll get a letter from HMRC saying you owe this amount of tax, which isn't very nice. So it's better to get it done, sorted straight from the beginning. Now, I've got a video about tax codes, which is worth having a little look at. So try have a look at that, because that will give you a bit more detail than I've just given you. But that's one thing to think about if you are getting another job while you're furloughed. The other thing is some people might just do some self-employed work, where they're not really employed by somebody. They might be doing some gardening or something like that. Now, if you're worried about tax for that income, you only need to really worry if your income's going to be more than £1,000. For a couple of years now, you've been able to have self-employment where you can earn up to £1,000 and not worry about detailing the income and the expenses. If you do fill out a tax return, there's actually a place on the tax return which says if you're self-employed, have you earned more than £1,000? If you haven't, then you don't have to do anything else, and you don't have to register as self-employed. You don't need to keep records of income and expenses. Now, so that's if you've got some self-employment income, and it's not going to be very much. So if it's under £1,000 a year, you can forget about it. If you decide that you want to do a little bit more from a self-employment point of view, and you've really thought working from home, suits you, or you found another source of income that might actually replace what you were doing before. Especially, hopefully people won't be losing their jobs. Inevitably, some people will. But if you found something that might replace it, that might become your full-time work. Now, I've got another video out there which describes the different structures for income. If you self-employment is one of them, but you might not want to be self-employed. You might want to set up a limited company, and there are various tax reasons for doing that. Not just tax reasons, there are commercial reasons for doing it too. A limited company is a very different format from self-employment. You might get a bit more protection, there's a bit more administration, but have a look at the video that I've done on those different forms or different structures when you're doing your own income. Another thing to think about is registering with HMRC. If you're going to be self-employed, you'll need to, and it's going to be more than £1,000, you'll need to register with HMRC to say that you're self-employed. You pay Class 2 National Insurance contributions, which ensures your state pension and everything going forward. And also, if you'd rather be thinking about having a limited company, then really you'd probably be wise to get an accountant involved. You can set your own company up, but there are various things to do bit more of a burden with administration. So again, we've got videos on how to do that, just to register with HMRC and how to set up your company. So good luck with everything, and if you've got other sources of income, great, try and keep them going or develop them, and I'll see you again for another video soon. Please like and subscribe as usual if you can, and yeah, thanks for listening.